Hello and welcome to FableRealms StoryEngine UI overview. Apologies for my voice, a bit croaky this morning, but I've got a lot of these to do, so I'm going to crack on through. So this is what you're greeted with when you first log into your StoryEngine. From here, we're going to do a quick UI overview. So we've got obviously a logo, a search bar, we've got a link back to the tavern, we've got a link to the world builder section, which will take you straight down to there. We've got the Oracle, which will bring out the AI window. So in here, this is where you can, as you can imagine, build assets and tokens and monsters for your campaign. We'll do a separate video on Oracle at a later date. And we've got the setting menu. So in here, all you can do at the moment is change your theme to your preference. I personally prefer Gothic. So over here, we've got a filter. So what I'm able to do is put in words like York. And in my story, this will bring back all the times that the location York Heart is mentioned. Okay, so we've got there York's Heart, York's Heart. Likewise, you can do that for anything in here, whether that be a character. So Abaddon, we'll bring back Abaddon there, for example. Okay, going down this side, let's just minimize some of these, work our way through. So the first thing you get is your story. This is where you land when you log in. This will be translated to the guide section. So in here, it'll be quick links to guides. So this is going to be changed very shortly. The next tab we've got is the Chronicle. The Chronicle is your living memory of the campaign, of what's happened so far. We'll just hide that. And this is where you can get updates on what's happened, quest outcomes. We can load more in as well. So click view fill time. We get back details through battles and etc. And this is in order of how you played. Okay, so that's how that works. I'm not going to go too much depth into everything. I'm just going to do a quick run over. Player notes. This is the notes that the players have generated in Codex, which are fed back to you. It is optional if they send them back to you. Some might be private notes, some might be party notes, some might be notes to include DM. These are notes that include the DM as well. Okay. Next, we've got the world graph. This is a pro feature. So we're going to click on to Steelheart. So in here, what I'm able to do is plot out all the different connections and the reason for the connections of each, what I like to call asset. So we've got 221 available assets in here, and an asset can be made up of anything. So you can add a new one in here, and this will generate a new item over in the tree. So if you click new monster, for example, a new monster will appear here, but obviously there'll be no content for it until you've got an update to that, but it will let you plan out and plot ideas. What you're also able to do is click create, for example, create a custom node. And I'm not going to go too much into this, but you can highlight things, create boxes like I've done here. Okay, so the next thing along is timeline. So in here, this lets you kind of plan your timeline of how you perceive your story to go. So this is my story. You can create as many of these as you want. There is an option to do a chronicle import. So this is a timeline of all the events of your party as you've gone through the game. So different attitude changes, etc., etc. So that's how that's built out. And again, you can make as many of these as you want, but they are pro features. The next thing is the campaign. So in here, it's made up of acts. So this is an act 1 to act 2, act 3. Within acts, you've got chapters. So you click there, add a chapter, and then that creates this. And within chapters, you have pages. I treat it very much like a book. So if I click there, these are the pages. This is how you read a page. If we go down here, you can see that I've got reopen. So this is completed and closed. If I go down to one that is open, you can see here it is open. I've got the option to complete it. And I've also got the option of going to edit mode. And in here, we've got all the different options you can do for your edit mode. I'm just going to change the theme, which is quite dark first thing in the morning to be looking at that. So I can put in all the different options, notes, quests, dungeons, battles, bosses, etc. and edit it. The reason I've done this is so that when you are just reading through it, you don't want to have like loads of UI options to edit and mess around with stuff. So it's just a simple go in and have a read. The next one down is lore. You can treat lore however you want. For me, it is like history, key items, secrets, prophecies. There's a few more options in here. If we just we'll click on that, the cross of power, and go to edit, and these are the different options you got here. Okay, and then you got how if it's a secret, so you can select a secret here. That turns it into a secret lore, and then you can decide how you want that secret to be, the state of the secret. You can put in what parties know, so if they are aware of something, if they're not aware of something, and you can add in clues, notes. You can link an item or a lore to an NPC, a character, monster, etc. You can link a lore to a lore if you want, and you can put it down as revealed. If you reveal it, that will appear in the codex. Okay, so this is partially revealed, so the party knows some stuff about this. I could change it to misunderstood, and again, I can put down what the party know. Once party knows the full thing, you'd pretty much copy over the truth into there, and then the party know the full correct. Next thing down is the players. So if we click on Atticus, for example, this is one of the people who play the game with us. This is one of the party members. This hasn't done their full bio, but in here, what we're doing is we've got a link to Tavern, and it's connected to a party member. So in here, I can sync this button here, and it will update all the details from D&D and Beyond and match up how that player is currently in D&D Beyond. What this allows you to do is when you are on a table, all these stats will come through. So as a DM, you'll have a visibility of what Atticus is currently got and what's available to them, what they can do. And likewise for the table view for the players, they've also got the same view, so they can sit there and be like, oh, well, I'm going to have a look at doing one of these, for example. What I also want to be able to do is have this synced with party members. So party members are able to click on other party players and also get the battle details. These are battle stats. These are the stats that have happened on the fights, and etc, etc. Again, I'm going to move on quickly. We'll do all these in separate videos. Characters are what I like to call major story characters, so something a bit more than an NPC. And again, in here, I've got all the details to do with that character. If I pick out someone who's quite flashed out, where's Ledger? There you go. So this is Ledger. So again, all the details to do with Ledger. If I wanted to, I could create a D&D character, D&D Beyond character for this person and sync that up. Obviously, D&D Beyond is just for people who play D&D. Other games will have different settings as I build out the character profile for different games. And in here, this battle stats hasn't been created. If you're lazy, what you can do is come to here, click Oracle. You can select a character, build stats, pick Ledger, and give it a CR and build out details to do with Ledger. And it will go and generate context to where battle stats for him. Okay, so factions. Factions is still fairly early, but what the plan for there is just click Royal Guards, for example. This connects NPCs and characters to a faction, and factions obviously give descriptions and mottos. They have the members and the attitude towards the party, and then you've got the presence and locations. This is an early version of factions that I'm going to build out more in the coming weeks. So NPCs are basically minor characters. So if we click on Born, for example, or Born, details to do with him, interactions with the party, and all this is just connected back again. So that's what that is. Next thing down, we've got locations. I've done quite a lot of work on this. So if we select, let's pick a good one, York's Heart. So all the details to York Heart, all the world builder maps that are linked to it. So these are all different locations in York's Heart. We've got all like location stats, buildings of interest, and shops. So in here we can click on inventory. This is what's for sale in the shop. And when this has been visited by the party members, this inventory goes through to Codex, which means they're able in their own time to load up Codex, go through, find a shop and go like, oh, well, next time I play, I want to go to York's Art and I want to go buy the heart stinging dagger. I've got enough gold for it, so I'm going to go do that. And again, we've got inhabitants and what factions are in there. So we've got the Royal Guards are established in that location. We've also got the option to build out metropolises. So let's just go down here. So this is kind of like major cities. So this is Valor's Reach. And in here, we've got these locations which hang off Valor's Reach. These are different districts within that location. Yeah, okay, so moving on. Let's minimize that, go back up. Next one we've got is monsters. So let's pick out a monster, Abysmal Crab. So in here, we got all the details to that. Okay, and again, edit, make changes, update stats, put in extra battle asset. And again, all of these are all transferred through to table. So in table, you're able to view these stats and use the details during the battle. Let's go back to true view. And the last one in this panel, well, there's a couple more, is World Builder. So in here, this is where you do your uploads for your DD2 VTTTs. You can upload videos and you can upload basic images. I don't know if I've got any basic images in my campaign. Nope, but you can upload images, give it a name, do an upload, create tabletop, up it goes. What it will do is it takes a little bit of time if you've got a big map. Reason being is I didn't like how other platforms had like high latency with large maps where a lot of lag would be introduced. So like Google Maps where you have the tiling. So you can imagine you're looking at the Earth and you zoom in and you get all the squares and the tiling and it shows you so you can zoom in. I've done the same for these, so you could have really, really big maps and you can zoom right on in. Idea being very long down the line is that you would be able to upload your world and you'll be able to zoom in on your world and actually zoom straight into a location. Okay, and that will give you the ability of like zooming in, zooming out, very much the way you use Google Maps. It's going to be a bit complex, but you'll have to like on your world map put down the Forest Road, for example, as a location, and then it will zoom in, and as it gets so far in, it will then zoom into Forest Road, and Forest Road would appear. Also got its assets. I'm not really using these myself in my story, but let's just say I wanted to upload a spike trap. Give it a little description, give an upload, and when it uploads, you get a token, which again you can use in World Builder. Handouts. Handouts are automatically generated from locations and lore. So every time you put a location image in or you put in a lore item, a handout is automatically generated. There's another option for NPCs and characters, so that in table, you can click on the NPC and click show to party, and it shows the party the handout of the NPC image or the character image. But I put locations and lore in automatically. And again, if you wanted to put a letter, a map, a puzzle, whatever it may be, you put it in, give it a tag, click upload, and then it will appear in the table when you're playing. And then the last thing we've got is tokens. Just going to minimize that. So we've got tokens. So these are loose tokens, so they aren't attached to anything at the moment. And we've got token packs. So these are dead cult members. And again, I can click on here and view it and give them a little bit of description. You can see these are AI generated. What I'm able to do, if you did want to use AI, is go to token packs, give it a name or pick an existing one, give it as much details as possible, because obviously you're generating multiple images all at the same time, they can get confused. Give it your style, your theme, what sort of location it's in, how many you want, and then that'll generate a token pack. And over here, you'll get a pack like this of all your tokens. So again, if you have to do something quick, you don't want to mess around making lots of tokens, and we all done it, we've all been there. It just takes absolutely ages to do such a small thing. That will just let you build out something quickly. And of course, if you've already got something built up and you're ready to go, just put it straight in, okay? The idea eventually being is that there's going to be an area called the vault. The vault is basically going to be an asset library, and in there, you'll be able to go in, see the dead cult members, and click add to my story, okay? And they'll just go straight in. to your story, and they'll appear in here. What I'm also going to have in here is that if you make something and you really like it, you'll have the option of saying share, and then that will go to the Vault library, and you'll be able to share it with other people, and they'll be able to pull it down and use it in their story. So just allows you to have them reusable assets to make people's lives easier. Down here we've got the Oracle, which I've clicked on several times now. So that will load up the Oracle window, which is this. This still needs retheme, and it's still very early days on this one. But that's what that does. And the next one is take you to the Discord channel. And that is everything as a quick overview of StoryEngine. Stay tuned, because next I'm going to do a quick overview of World Builder. Thank you very much.